Hi everyone, this is a real short tutorial on how I make spinners for steelhead and salmon fishing. It's a pretty simple process and you can get as fancy as you want or as simple as you want. I've been making spinners for steelhead and salmon fishing since 1985 and had really good success with it, and I've kind of tweaked it how I like it. It's a pretty simple, inexpensive way to fish spinners. There's two types of spinners that I do use. I use just a regular spinner with the tubing on the back. Of course, we use a lot of gaudy colors for salmon and steelhead. I'll use just a regular dressed hook like this with the tubing. The tubing is really inexpensive. It comes in 5-foot chunks. You can get usually pink or orange, yellow, red. And I either use it plain like that, or I'll add some type of mylar or tinsel to it, and have like a hackle or a bucktail type dressing on it. There's a large one here. And here's some examples. Basically. Okay, and first you got to start out with getting the wire components for making the spinner. And I bought these at Lure Parts and Pro Lure online. First you need the shaft, spinner blade shaft. This wire is .126 and it's 6 inches long. That's plenty to work with. So, and then I order the clevises, and that's a size 3, which you can use with a number 3 blade or a number 4 blade. This is a number 4 blade, and then you can order the blades. And this, I use the body for the spinner. Basically, this is a worm weight. This is a 3/8 ounce, and these beads here are 8mm glow beads. And I get the glow beads from, not just glow beads, but the UV beads and the regular standard beads. I get those from Purple Taco Fly Company. I also get the tinsel material for dressing the hooks from Purple Taco. Really good company. They're made in Michigan, and it's really easy to do. So what I do is I get the shaft of the spinner. You put 2 6mm beads. These 2 beads are 6mm in size. Run those up as a buffer. You put your clevis on your spinner blade, and I use a French radar style blade, and this is a 4. And I slide that on. Then I put another bead just below it as a buffer, so it sits on the body of the spinner. And then I run 2 8mm beads up there, and then it sits like that. And then I have to bend and put a loop in this to put a hook on it. And I don't have a bending jig. You can buy a bending jig, or you can do what I do, just make my own, or you could even use just pliers and freehand it. But I use a nail, and I take the pliers and I bend it around, makes a nice little loop. Then I put the hook on, and then I wrap it around 3 times. And it's that simple. Once you get the loop on and wrapped around like that, it may sometimes kink off to the side a little bit, may not be in line. I always make sure it's in line with where you tie it on. I like it straight. I don't think it helps you catch more fish, but I think it helps prevent you from losing more lures, snagging on the bottom, grabbing logs and rocks. So I like to keep it straight. And the easy way to correct that, just like any lure tuning, once you get that on there, just take some needle nose pliers and bend it till it's straight. Kind of hangs in line. Make sure your blade spins freely. I always will make sure I have a little space there like that so they don't get pinched or pressure on it. And that's it, basically. These really work well for salmon and steelhead. Coho love these dressings. Basically, this is what you would call a peanut fly if you're fishing behind a dodger out in Lake Michigan for coho. That's basically what I tied. And you can get all the materials for tying this at Purple Taco, along with the beads. I don't always use a dressing on there. Sometimes I just use the standard tubing. They come in 5-foot sections, and this is pink. They come in orange, red, yellow, so you can use whatever color you want. And that's it. And you can get different size worm weights for the body. This is, like I said, 3/8, and there's a size 4. These are really good for salmon and the rivers I fish. Some streams, I fish some really small streams. I use a 1/4 ounce worm weight with just one bead underneath, a little bit smaller profile, and that works really good for steelhead. And there's different variations of different colors. I mean, you could use and just find out what you like. I always put a little strip of glow tape on the back of the blade, a little extra contrasting color as it's spinning, and I think that helps aggravate the salmon and steelhead into striking. And like I say, there's different combinations. You'll find the colors you like. I mean, I got green, chartreuse, glow, orange, all kinds of different colors, and they all work and had their time and place. Here's another one. This is kind of a red bead with the chartreuse. I don't have the tape on the back of that one yet. It's not finished, but definitely a good way to fish salmon and steelhead to add to your arsenal. One other thing about the hook, this is a size 4 VMC hook. If you're fishing braid, you could pull this out on a fish like a big king with the hook jaw and the bone. If you're really reefing on it, trying to horse them, you could bend out and lose the fish. One of the ways I've counteracted that is, this is how I rig up my, I run about a 12-inch mono leader to my braid. This is 40-pound Power Pro, and here's a barrel swivel, and then here's a monofilament leader, and that's a 20-pound leader. And you know, it doesn't have to be fluorocarbon. Fluorocarbon doesn't have any stretch and is really good for pike because it's really tough. And obviously your lower diameter fluorocarbon's good for line shy fish, but you're not fishing line shy fish when you're using a spinner. You're getting a predatory excited response from them, and so it's not necessary to hide your line. Main purpose of running the mono is to have stretch, so along with the hook, it won't bend out. And if you use a nickel plated hook, I've experimented with the nickel plated that don't bend. You lose a lot more lures, especially on rock. When these seem to give a little bend, you can get your lure out a lot of times. So I run this rig, like I said, just like this, a 9/6 Fenwick medium action rod with a Daiwa reel, and I basically do what I call shotgunning spinners, whether I'm in a drift boat or if on foot, waders, just tossing it in log jams, deep pools, especially if you find a pod of salmon, especially the males that are fighting. The spinners really irritate them. So go ahead and give spinner making a try, and it's kind of satisfying to catch a salmon or steelhead on a lure you made. These also work really good for smallmouth. I've caught a lot of smallmouth on these. Some different color variations for the smallmouth, a little more natural colors. But the chartreuse works really good too for smallmouth and pike and muskies. I like to go larger sizes with muskie, usually a little bit bigger hackle than this, and a size 5 blade. But for salmon and steelhead, what I just showed you is a really good setup. Works really well. I'll put in the description down below the link to Purple Taco Fly Supply Company, where you can get all the material for tying these, and you can get all the beads, and also the other company that has the components for making the spinner. Thanks for watching.